everyone, welcome to the Movie Section Show. My name is Fariba, and today we're about to watch episode 4 of Secret Invasion, which means that after tonight's episode, we only have 2 more episodes left. So that is insane because it just feels as if the show has just started. Like, we're really starting to get to the depths of where this series is going to go in terms of its storytelling. I mean, so far, as I said before, it's been really intriguing seeing the developments of what's going on with the Skrulls, Nick Fury's pursuits, and all that sort of stuff so far. The last episode was pretty insane. Like, for one thing, Gravik killed off Gaia, although I do believe that she may not be definitively dead. I will argue that there is a possibility that she's either not dead or she'll be resurrected in some way, because I just feel like it just seems so soon to be killing off a pretty big character like Gaia from the series, especially from one who was played by Emilia Clarke, like one of the biggest stars from Game of Thrones. So I do think that she is not officially, or at least like definitively dead as of this point. I think at some point she'll be back, and I think also that kind of goes again with like the trailers. Like, there are some snippets from the trailers that I'm thinking about. I'm like, we haven't seen those yet, so that again supports my argument of why I think Gaia's not absolutely dead yet. I think she will be back in some form or some way. Hopefully, we'll see how it all goes. Maybe, considering that, Gaia is a Skrull, maybe the version that we're going to see, at least the original version that she was mimicking, might be, around or something. So maybe that could be the theory right there. So if it's not Gaia herself, I would assume that's going to be the person that she was imitating. And maybe that might actually be a big twist right there. Maybe there might be something over there where, maybe the person that she was mimicking is someone who's pretty big in the universe. So we'll see how that all goes out. Of course, at the end of the episode, we learn that Nick Fury's significant other is actually, working for Gravik. That was something that it was kind of already teased and, speculated early on in the episode, like the way that she was kind of being a bit eerie about her intentions. And even the way that she was like talking to Nick about how, because of his absence, that she decided to, go to this direction where she is now working for Gravik. And we see at the end of the episode that, that she eventually is working for him. She's doing some sort of task for him. I mean, I don't know what's going to be. Is she going to assassinate someone? Is she, going to kill Nick? I mean, I don't know. We'll see where that goes. Of course, I think the big question, of course, from that final moment is, who was she talking to? I mean, for me, the way that I was listening to that conversation, and just from my analysis with my hearing, it sounded like it was Rhodey, right? So basically Don Cheadle's voice. Like, I was just like, okay, that sounded like Rhodey right there. I think again this goes back to the theory that that the Rhodey that we saw earlier back in what was episode 2 is not the real Rhodey that we know from, or at least know of. It seems as if that he might actually be the imposter Rhodey, so maybe that's kind of why he is pushing back Nick, why he is basically firing him from, the government. It just seems sort of odd to for him to kind of make decisions this way without him acknowledging their, past relationship. So definitely gonna see whether or not that ends up becoming true. I think the more we get into the series, the more that the actual theory seems to be plausible. So yeah, I mean, so far again, this has been a very promising show so far. I think again, it's it's far more sophisticated atmosphere, and serious tone has definitely been a very unique approach with what we've seen so far in the MCU. I mean, I think it's definitely been very grounded on the political thriller aspects, and I've so far been enjoying it. Yeah, it's been a slow burn, but it's a slow burn that's really kind of developing the big pieces and the big phenomenon of what's going on in this whole story. So I mean, we'll see where this ends up going. I mean, again, we only have like about 2 more episodes after tonight's episode, so hopefully they'll be able to start kind of wrapping up some things, maybe starting to shift a little bit to kind of getting to the final act of the series. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into episode 4 of Secret Invasion. See, okay, I told y'all she alive. Okay, I knew she was alive. Like it was just clear cut. She was gonna be alive. Oh, so she's resurrected. Okay, she's getting resurrected. Okay, Extremis. Oh my God! She's using Extremis. Oh my God! Iron Man 3 stuff right there. Wow. Well, it worked. I knew it. She wasn't dead. I knew it. Paris. Okay. 2012. So this is around like Avengers time. This is like the Avengers, like the first Avengers time. Like, oh my God. Are we gonna see somebody that we know? Oh. Are we gonna see somebody? Hold up.
Watching all the news coverage of those guys' heroics over in the States.
Oh, so this is
Strangest
post
thing,
Avenger. Oh, okay.
I kept having this
Les
feeling
Avengers.
that someone I know had something to do with getting them all together.
And what if it was someone you know?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Why's that?
Because if he's the man I think he is, he has a powerful sense of righteousness. He understands that the universe is a dangerous place. That home is worth fighting for. And that the weak are worth protecting.
Good book.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, he imposter. We all knew it. We all knew it. That's imposter Rhodey. Everything's coming together.
Days ago.
Fired? How'd that happen?
President Ritson must have, if it was Gravik. Then why does he need me?
What Gravik needs, what Gravik doesn't need, that's none of your concern.
Yeah, that's
I'm
imposter
the one
Rhodey.
telling you to kill Fury.
Oh,
Look,
so
I'll
yeah,
make it
okay.
easy for you.
One of the two occupants of that lovely country manor of yours is catching a bullet today.
You can flip a coin for all I care.
Oh, she a double agent.
He's broken. He's been broken ever since he came back from the blip. Or the old.
Oh, did she wired her phone or something? I don't know. It's either one. She's either a double
No
agent or
problem.
he wired her phone.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Take a look around, G. There's a reason God.
I should never, ever have forced you into this, and I am so sorry.
And I don't need your sorrow or your pity for anything I did of my own free will. The reason I'm with you now is because with you, Dad,
Dad.
it's the only answer to the question of where I belong. The only thing that I need from you is a plan.
At least that's some valediction for
Once and
Thalos.
for all, Dad. You were delusional. That's not who we are. And that is not who I've become.
Dang.
Gaia!
Not gonna lie though, that plan is a bit too optimistic.
Of all the dumbass, wrong-headed, reckless things I've done in my life, you are by far and away the greatest mistake.
Dang.
I lost all my reason to be your husband.
that I would bury her at sea, which I did. 2, that I would continue to be a daughter to her parents.
Which you've also done.
Mm-hmm.
3,
that I would never hurt you. Sorry, darling. The earth.
Oh my god, what just happened? Oh god.
I'm not sure if this means we should get divorced or we should renew our vows.
What the frick? That is so messed up.
They'll be coming for you.
I'm a big girl. I could take care of myself. Would you have loved me if I'd never changed? If I'd been my true self?
Guess we'll never know.
Is that Priscilla or Gaia? I'm assuming that's Gaia. Oh, that's Rhodey. Oh my god. Ah! There you go, though. Imposter Rhodey. See, everyone was right. It's so great to see that we were all right.
What the hell?
Fury knows, so.
Memory serves, I shit canned you into oblivion a few days ago.
Yeah, not the real Rhodey, though.
I didn't like the way we left things between us the other day. Let me tell you, if you waste 1 drop of this family reserve, I guarantee you, your ancestors will reach out from the beyond and strangle your black ass. There are scrolls inside the U.S. government.
This again? Scrolls in my security detail, scrolls in the U.S. government, they're just scrolls
I have
everywhere.
an excellent authority that there is a scroll mold very close.
There's a scroll among us.
Really? How close?
Close as you and I are right now. Up closer. That's graphic.
Come on. Is that really what you're gonna go with? At your trial? The alien defense? No, Your Honor, that's not me. That's a 6 foot tall,
Does
bald,
this guy
black,
not know who
one-eyed
Rhodey is?
extraterrestrial.
Really giving
Good
himself
luck
away.
with that. But I don't want you to worry, okay? I'm gonna do everything in my power to protect you, to keep this video and all the copies that I made under wraps. But I can't have you run the rest of this pappy, because baby, this is fire.
Okay, I think he
Now,
knows.
tell you
that
what,
he
why
knows.
don't you
All right.
hobble your ancient ass on out of here before I have you defenestrated?
I mean, does he know? I'm so confused. I'm assuming that imposter Rhodey knows that he knows. So, because why would he just flaunt out a video of the imposter Nick? So
Liquid.
It's an old Lenin quote, Vladimir, not John. When you find flesh, you push. When you find steel, you stop. You gotta be still, sir.
this guy clearly does not know who Rhodey
Colonel,
is,
can I
huh?
ask you something?
Absolutely.
Why is he showing so
sir.
much swagger?
Did you pre-game for our bilateral with the Russians with the half bottle of bourbon?
I'm not sure I understand the question, sir.
You're not even acting like Rhodey.
Let's make sure the Colonel here has a large coffee for the road.
We're in transit to the summit. Citadel is in position number 4.
Oh, it's gonna be an ambush. Okay. Oh, missiles! Valvyrie's just sitting there calmly. Dang. This might be a good time to actually bring in the Avengers.
Fury's here!
Clearly.
Cover the stagecoach!
Oh my god! Well, he's embodying Groot's powers, I see.
Better Talos! Now!
Right at the heart.
He's a bloody alien! He's trying to get to Richard!
No! Hold your fire! He's with me! He's with us!
Nice.
President's out of the vehicle! Cover the president!
Tails, hang in there. I'll be back for you. Put him down. I said, put him down. Now!
Oh, come on.
No!
He's using extremis. Aw, shit. Hell no. Shit. Alright, so that was episode 4 of Secret Invasion, and yeah, there is a lot to dissect, because, oh my god, a lot has just been revealed. So, yeah, I mean, wow, it's really hard to even talk about this, because there's just so many things that have happened in this episode, it's just revelations after revelations after revelations. So, of course, let me just start from the beginning, right? So the first part, as I said before, Gaia is not dead, and clearly she was not dead. I mean, she used extremis, so that is basically, again, how she was able to regenerate. So glad to see I was correct on that assumption that she was definitively not dead, thankfully enough. I mean, all thanks to context clues and memories from the, original trailer, that she clearly has a lot more to do in the series, and then not be actually dead for the rest of the season. So yeah, clearly she is alive, but we now know what that machine does, right? So that was kind of like the question going into, the final episodes, because it was introduced that, they have this machine, they for some reason have Groot's, ability to branch out. They have extremis. They have one of the weapons from Asgard. Like, we know that they are planning to use that for something, right? And now we know clearly what they're using it for, and that is, of course, to give them far more enhanced powers than just being able to shapeshift. So we saw that, Gravik was able to manifest a lot of those powers in that final, ambush sequence that we see at the end of this episode. And clearly he is using, the best of those powers to his advantage. So of course, the fact that he was being killed off, the fact that he's able to use Groot's branching out powers to, basically subdue a lot of the troops, the militants who were going after them. Yeah, I mean, we're clearly now getting a far more answers now. And of course, talking about answers, I mean, we were all correct about Rhodey. The Rhodey that we're seeing is clearly the imposter. That has been pretty clear for quite some time. I mean, his behavior has been a bit odd since the moment that we did see him interact with Fury, and for some reason, oddly, firing him on the spot, calling him out for his actions in Russia. Like, it all seemed a bit weird. And of course, like the last episode, it clearly sounded like it was Rhodey. So great to see that we were all correct on that theory, that he is basically the imposter Rhodey. Now, of course, the big question is going to be, if that's the imposter Rhodey, where is the real Rhodey, right? Like, so either he must be in prison somewhere, or he might not even be on Earth. We don't know. We have no idea what happened to the real Rhodey, right? So that's gonna be the biggest question right there. Don't know if we're even gonna get an answer about that, or hopefully we will get an answer. Maybe by the end of the season we'll know. But that's definitely gonna be the big question. Like, where is the real Rhodey? But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty solid, you know, episode. I think this is the one that is really starting to kind of bring together the stuff that we saw earlier, so the exposition, and now really kind of setting up what is now the conclusion of the series. So that's at least a really nice track that we're going through. Like, I mean, I still think that there is a bit of like a pacing like here and there where I wish it could have been a bit better. But even that being the case, I at least, like, with this episode, I can tell that we're starting to get to the beginning of the end of the series, right? With the last 2 episodes that we still have left. So clearly in this one, we see that Fury figures out everything about, you know, Priscilla, or at least imposter Priscilla, what's going on with her, why, you know, she's been acting a bit weird. Of course, like, her task was to kill off Fury, which of course she couldn't because of their, you know, connection. And of course her perceived promise with the original Priscilla, the actual real Priscilla, not to kill him off. So we saw that they resolved that whole matter. Like, we saw the tension right there that was just building up. Like it just came all of a sudden, like, you know, this really almost near romantic tragedy that we're about to see, which thankfully didn't, you know, end up in a horrible note. Of course, like, everyone was, you know, breathing by the end of it. But yeah, I mean, we are definitely seeing things kind of, you know, coming together with what we've seen so far in this series. Again, Gaia's alive. Gaia has now spoken with her dad. You can still see how they still have that differing philosophy with how they're going to try and, you know, protect and, you know, relocate their people, knowing that they are a species without their home planet. That's still kind of becoming the big, the big argument so far that has been encompassing everything that has basically led to this series, right? So the whole idea of why we're getting to the story. Of course, the biggest heartbreak is that we've lost Talos. Now, I mean, he is dead. I mean, this is a series that keeps killing people. I mean, this is now like the 3rd time that we've now witnessed a big character, or at least a well-known character, getting killed off in the MCU, or at least in this series, right? So first was Maria Hill. Second was technically Gaia, although she thankfully used extremists to be, you know, to at least resurrect herself. And now the 3rd one, which is Talos. So I cannot wait to see Twitter, or at least just the online media, go berserk about this again. Just another big death. I mean, at least, like, you know, in a way that, you know, we still got Gaia back. So that kind of, you know, mitigates a little bit. But even then, I mean, Talos is a very big character, right? So that's a big loss going to this series. I mean, again, I don't know. Like, now, this one, I'm very unsure whether or not there even is a chance to really bring him back. Like, I mean, that's going to be a big question there. I don't know if that's something that Guy is going to try and do. Or, I mean, if anything, like, the fact that his death has happened, it's probably going to be a catalyst for Gaia. Like, it's going to be a very critical point for her to really decide which side of the group that she wants to, you know, be with, right? Does she want to go in a more, you know, radical route with Gravik, or does she want to go in a far more friendlier route where it is a bit more mutual, right? So we'll see how it all goes. I feel like, again, this is going to be a defining point in what will eventually lead to Gaia's kind of, you know, ability to discover what kind of, you know, what she wants to do, what she believes is the right thing to do, in terms of her moral compass, as well as what she needs to do for her own people. I think, again, like, we'll see. I think that's going to be kind of leading up to the final 2 episodes now that we've had this death right here. That seems a far more of a likely outcome, like something that, you know, irreversible at this point. And so yeah, I mean, again, just that whole ambush scene, like, very, that was what we were expecting this show to be about. I think this is, again, a far more fast-paced episode. I mean, this was a very short episode in comparison to what we've had before. Like, the first episodes were pretty long. They were almost like hitting an hour length. This one and the last one were just less than 40. I think this one, was just barely hitting like 33 minutes. So yeah, I mean, we're really kind of speeding things up a little bit, of course, because again, we only have 2 more episodes left. But even then, like, we are starting to kind of get the story to come together, to really kind of circle around, knowing that we are about to get to the end of the series, and hopefully we'll see how things are resolved. Again, we know that Gaia's alive, Talos is dead, unfortunately. Nick is with the president, so we'll see where that goes. We're going to see how Gaia is going to react to her father's death, because I think, again, that's going to kind of be a triggering point for the rest of her character development right there. Of course, like, we're going to keep on following Gravik and whether or not he will succeed in his pursuits of creating this chaos between humans, so that way they can, basically set the, the point of extinguishing themselves, like, basically, like, self-destructing their own species to a point where they can now, inhabit planet Earth without that disruption, without having any of the issues from the humans. So we'll see if that, I mean, it probably won't for the most part. Like, I think at the end of the day, it seems as if Nick Fury is going to succeed. I think it's going to be a matter of whether or not, Talos' mission to really kind of bring his people, allowing them to integrate on Earth and at least get the good graces of humans, will definitely be the biggest question of whether or not that side of, his goals would actually work out. So that's gonna be the big question. Again, that's probably not going to fall upon Gaia on whether or not she's going to take the leadership role at this point, knowing that her father has died. And again, not just that, but again, seeing how what we're gonna do with the imposter Rhodey, where the real Rhodey is. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this episode. We'll see kind of how the last 2 remaining episodes we have left, how that's going to lead up to kind of setting up the beginning of the end of the series. I think this is just a mini-series from the looks of it, so I don't think there's going to be any, season 2 or anything like that. So I think it's just going to be a standalone. So it's going to be time to starting to, like, wrap up the stories and see kind of how things unfold as we get closer and closer to the finale. So yeah, that was episode 4 of Secret Invasion. What are your thoughts about what we saw in terms of development? What do you think about the Rhodey revelation? Like, were you correct? Were you not correct? Were you anticipating it to be the way it is? Again, I feel like it became far more obvious the more that we start to kind of, see who he is, how he is, kind of his swagger, his mannerism. It started to become far more clear that this is not the Rhodey that we know. But yeah, what do you think about that theory that was kind of, becoming the big thing and becoming a big discussion point on the internet, and how it basically was true? I mean, let's be honest, MCU fans are very good at, deciphering the, the details of things. But yeah, that was one thing. What do you think about the whole revelation about the machine that they have, the fact that they do have things like ability to kind of, expand and be elastic in terms of their powers, using Groot's powers to branch out, the fact that they are using Sturmus, allowing them to regenerate and not, so that way they can have a far more immortal ability to survive, like, the nature around them, maybe even in a sense of allowing them to extend their life expectancy, so that way they are far more survivors. What do you think about that revelation right there, and how will Nick Fury be able to resolve that matter? Is that a temporary thing? Is that going to be a permanent thing? That's going to probably be another big question right there. Like, is this something that they have to continue to, like, they have to continue to, regenerate themselves, or, re-energize themselves, or is this something of permanent matter? That'll be a big question right there for sure. Not just that, but again, what do you think about Talos' death? What does this imply for Gaia's, arc as of this point? Like, are we going to see a very big, change for her, knowing that her father has died at this moment? Will this be a big moment for her to really kind of step up as a leader? Because I feel like that could be a very likely scenario at this point. And let me know if you have any other theories, thoughts, any sort of predictions going into the final 2 episodes. Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.